If school is supposed to help us become financially educated, then why is it that financial education is not taught in schools? Believe it or not, 70% of lottery winners end up broke, and 1/3 of them declare bankruptcy. In 1961, Vivian Nicholson won $426,000 from winning the local football pools, which would be worth around $7 million today. This British cake factory worker spent all her earnings and didn't have enough to pay taxes, so she declared bankruptcy. In 2003, Britain's youngest lottery winner, Kaylee Rogers, gained $3 million at 16 years old. A lot of her money was spent on cosmetic surgery and vacations, which ultimately ended her up with $2,580 left in the bank. Many consumers have very little understanding about finances. They don't realize how badly poor financial decisions can affect their life. The lack of financial education is one of the main reasons many people struggle with retaining money. 90% of American students go to a public school, yet 80% of them are caught up in the chains of debt. Next time you walk down a street, count the first 10 people you see. 8 out of those 10 people are stuck in debt. But perhaps it's less important to point fingers and blame the school system. Actually, it's absolutely pointless. But it is what it is. And now that you have this knowledge, there's no turning back. So let's begin by answering this question. Does money make you happy? In 2010, psychologist Daniel Kahneman and economist Angus Deaton did a study on how money affects happiness. The first aspect of the study was examining if money affected the everyday quality of life, the joy, the stress, anger, and sadness. The second aspect was in regards to how people thought about their lives. The study found that money does play a role in how people think about their lives. The people who had more money did feel better about their lives. However, emotional well-being only rose with income up to an annual salary of $75,000, which is around $90,000 in our current society. Beyond that, people were not happier. But here's something to consider. If you're making $90,000, which is supposedly the income of peak happiness, what happens if you spend it all on living a lavish lifestyle before your retirement? What if, even though you're making $90,000 a year, you're still falling into greater debt? Will you be happy then? Approximately 20% of Americans 65 and older are still working today, and 12% of Americans never expect to retire. I'll bet that this is not the way you want to live. Some people choose to work past retirement, but having a choice and being forced are two completely different things. If you want to work, that's fantastic. However, I feel bad for the person that dreads his job and realizes that he would not be able to sustain paying for shelter, one of the most basic human needs. Nearing the end of one's life, almost 1 in 3 Americans regret not saving more for retirement. The question isn't at what age I want to retire, it's at what income. So why is it that we still fall into this trap of not saving enough money? The answer lies in what society says to us every day. A lot of people like to believe that they just need to make more money. If I made $15,000 more each year, I'd have enough money. This is a pretty common way of thinking. Well, whether you make $50,000 or $200,000, the problem, of course, is not what you make. It's what you spend. For so many people, your self-esteem is linked with what material possessions you have. The house you have, the car you drive, and the furniture you sit on to watch on your $5,000 TV. This is what makes people feel successful? Well, this is what social media tells you success is. We've been trained to think this way, and public schooling hasn't done anything to change that. It's a vicious cycle that we put ourselves in over and over, leading us to become less content and less financially stable. So what are you going to do about it? Well, big changes start with small steps. Let me give you a few ideas. Then I think you're smart enough to come up with more on your own. I used to work out at a gym. I had a membership for 10 years. It was $36 a month, coming out to a total of $4,320. I canceled the membership, got my own weights for $180, and pretty much this is all I'm gonna need for a very long time. Alright, here's a big one. Drive a cheaper car. Dave Ramsey always preaches about this. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but Americans are spending close to $35,000 on new cars, and 90% of them are financed. This is a huge debt that you don't want to have. That could save you in the long run. Lastly, use your credit cards wisely. It's a great financial tool if you use it wisely, or a destructive one if you're not careful. Interest rates accumulate very quickly. I make sure to pay mine in full every month. I encourage you to do the same. If you can't afford it, take small steps every month. Cut back more and more, and eventually you will be debt-free. I know this is much easier said than done, but sometimes we just gotta do what we gotta do. If you have a will, there's a way. What are other ways you can incorporate financial education in your life? I know it has saved my life. Not literally, but actually, literally. Because think about it. Are you really living? Or are you just paying the bills until you die? If you don't take anything from this video, just take this. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you found value in this video, do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you don't, I'll be sad. I want this message to get out to millions of people, but we gotta start somewhere.